Super Troopers is one of the best low-budget comedies ever made, and the story behind it is wilder than anything that actually appears on screen. It started with a group of college friends with no Hollywood connections, a script rewritten over 20 times, and a budget so small that one retired businessman funded the entire project. That combination should not produce a hit movie, and yet here we are, over 2 decades later, and people are still quoting this film daily. These 12 facts will completely change how you watch Super Troopers, not in a deep, cinematic way, but in a way that makes you realize these situations actually happened in real life, which is much better. Fact number 1. The opening scene is based on a true story, and the real version hurt far more than the movie version. The film opens with a terrified teenager being forced to swallow a large bag of drugs during a traffic stop. While it is funny on screen, it was brutal in reality. Friends of the Broken Lizard comedy group were driving toward Canada when a border guard spotted marijuana in the car. In a flat-out panic, one of the friends swallowed an entire mushroom stash intended for 10 people, consuming every single bit of it. He ended up experiencing a trip that lasted 2 full days straight. The opening sequence of this comedy film was not a writer's invention, but a real incident that happened to people they knew personally, and that detail makes every second of it land differently. Fact number 2. Kevin Heffernan cast his actual parents in the film, then insulted them without giving them any warning. Heffernan plays Farva, the most insufferable trooper in the group. His real mother and father wanted a cameo, so he placed them as the couple Farva pulls over during a traffic stop. While he did warn them that he was going to say something very rude, he neglected to mention the exact line he planned to use. When he delivered the famous insult directly to his own parents' faces, their shocked and uncomfortable reactions were completely genuine, as nobody had given them a hint. Their son just pulled up, rolled down the window, and let them have it. Fact number 3. Brian Cox, one of the most respected dramatic actors alive, actively sought out this role. Cox built his career on terrifying performances, including a turn as Hannibal Lecter before Anthony Hopkins ever touched the character, and later as Logan Roy in Succession. He was known for heavyweight, serious work, but he contacted the Broken Lizard group repeatedly, asking to play Captain O'Hagan because he grew up loving physical comedy and old-school slapstick. And Super Troopers gave him a genuine shot to show audiences a completely different side of himself. He did not wait for an invitation, but pushed for it, and his performance as O'Hagan is one of the strongest elements in the whole film. Fact number 4. The maple syrup scene used actual syrup, and it nearly took the cast out completely. The prop team originally tried thick iced tea as a substitute for maple syrup on camera, but director Jay Chandrasekhar rejected it because it was not convincing enough. So, the actors chugged real bottles of maple syrup through multiple takes and multiple bottles per person until the combined sugar load hit them all simultaneously like a freight train. The cast spent hours lying flat in dark rooms afterward, waiting for the crash to pass. The heavy, glazed look in their eyes after the scene was not acting. It was pure sugar devastation, and they did it for your entertainment. Fact number 5. Farva's famous mustache was a prop glued on to Kevin Heffernan's face every single morning of the shoot. The rest of the cast grew their own facial hair naturally throughout production, but Heffernan sat in the makeup chair daily getting a prosthetic mustache attached to his skin, which he personally called his stunt mustache. The character of Farva carries so much personality in that thick strip of fake hair that audiences never question it for a second. It has its own attitude and presence, and it was stuck on with glue before every single scene. Fact number 6. A major Hollywood studio offered to fund Super Troopers on one condition: cast bankable stars in key roles. Ben Affleck's name came up specifically. They suggested bringing in bigger names and a different director, and the studio would write the check. The group needed $5.5 million and could have had it. Instead, they walked away completely because they refused to hand over creative control or their spots in the film, which led to the studios rejecting them. That single decision kept the movie from becoming something totally generic and forgettable, which connects directly to fact number 7. One retired Wall Street businessman funded the entire film himself, alone, for $1.25 million. After the studios walked, Broken Lizard found a recently retired investor looking to break into movie production, and he wrote one check to cover the whole budget. When Super Troopers earned over $18 million at the box office against that initial cost, he recovered every dollar many times over. One man's bet on a group of unknowns changed their careers completely, and that investor deserves a statue somewhere in Vermont. Fact number 8. The cast broke actual laws while wearing their police uniforms during production, and somehow this did not stop the film. Kevin Heffernan physically walked out in full trooper costume and directed traffic himself when the film crew failed to control the road properly, which is impersonating a law enforcement officer. Meanwhile, Eric Stolhansky got caught driving 100 miles per hour with police roof lights flashing on his vehicle, still in costume, speeding down a highway dressed as a cop. He had to explain that situation directly to the officer pulling him over. Fact number 9. Jim Gaffigan almost got blocked from the film because of a personal rivalry with Kevin Heffernan. Gaffigan appears in the Meow Game scene, which many fans consider the single funniest moment in the entire movie, but Heffernan initially resisted casting him. The reason is straightforward, as Gaffigan had beaten Heffernan out for acting roles at real auditions before they ever crossed paths professionally. Losing roles to someone always stings, but despite Heffernan's protests, Gaffigan landed the part, and working together on set is actually what broke the ice. They became close friends, and Gaffigan delivered a performance so sharp it became one of the most quoted scenes in comedy film history, meaning the rivalry was dropped and the result became iconic. Fact number 10. The bulletproof jockstrap scene was filmed in direct eye shot of a functioning maximum security prison, and the inmates provided unplanned commentary for every take. Actor Steve Lemmy stood outside in minimal clothing while testing a protective cup, and real prisoners watched the entire thing from their cell windows. They yelled the whole time during every take, meaning the crew got a vocal audience they had not anticipated, and those inmates were not holding back. Lemmy had to stand there and absorb it all between takes without breaking, which is a specific kind of professionalism that deserves recognition. Fact number 11. Super Troopers feels gloriously loose and spontaneous from start to finish, but the script went through more than 20 full drafts. The team completed 20 rewrites over several years, all aimed at the specific target of having a joke land every 6 seconds. The Broken Lizard group timed it, measured it, and reworked scenes until the pacing hit exactly where they wanted. What reads as effortless on screen came from years of methodical and stubborn revision, meaning the chaos you see is manufactured and calculated until it felt like nobody was trying at all. Fact number 12 is the most unusual ending to this story. The Meow Game, where officers try to say the word meow during a traffic stop as many times as possible, broke out of the film and into professional sports. Hockey player Ray Canisto smuggled 7 meows into a 40-second live television interview during a game intermission, achieving this on a live broadcast. The interviewers had no idea what was happening, viewers at home went wild, and a joke from a small comedy made in 2001 had successfully infiltrated professional sports media without anyone stopping it. Nobody stopped it, and nobody could. That is Super Troopers, built on a real mushroom disaster, powered by fake facial hair and genuine sugar crashes. Rejected by studios, saved by one investor, and still influencing live television broadcasts more than 2 decades later. Let us know which facts surprised you the most in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe for more movie deep dives like this one, and remember to keep it under the speed limit. Meow.